are going to see about the boundaries and contents of femoral triangle. Femoral triangle is the triangular space present in the front of thigh. So it is formed by medial boundary, lateral boundary, base and apex. Actually, this is the medial boundary, this is the lateral boundary. So both are meeting down, that is the apex. Next base is above, that is formed by a ligament called as inguinal ligament. So already in the upper limb you studied about the origin of pectoralis major. One of the origin is from external oblique aponeurosis. So this inguinal ligament is nothing but your part of your external oblique aponeurosis. It extends from this bony marking. This is called as anterior superior iliac spine. If you trace it down, it comes up to the pubic tubercle. Actually, this is the pubic symphysis. If you come laterally, that elevation is the pubic tubercle. So this ligament extends between your anterior superior iliac spine and pubic tubercle. This is part of your external oblique aponeurosis. So that much is enough for you now. Later on in the abdomen we are going to read in detail about the your inguinal ligament. So this inguinal ligament forms the base of our femoral triangle. Next, if you come to the medial boundary, so this is the medial boundary. It is a muscle of adductor compartment of thigh, that is your adductor longus. So actually here the medial boundary is formed by the medial border of adductor longus. So that is important. Medial border of adductor longus, because the part of the muscle is present in the floor also. That's why the medial boundary is formed by medial border of adductor longus. Like that, if you see the lateral boundary, it is formed by a long muscle getting originated from anterior superior iliac spine, that is your sartorius. Sartorius, so it is a very long muscle starting from anterior superior iliac spine and comes down, crosses the thigh from lateral to medial side, goes for the insertion to the tibia on the medial side. So that is your sartorius. So medial border of sartorius forms the lateral boundary. Both boundaries, medial and lateral boundaries are meeting, so that is the apex of the femoral triangle. So apex of the femoral triangle is found by meeting of our medial and lateral boundary. So that is your medial lateral boundaries, apex and base. Next, roof of your femoral triangle. So that is important, that roof is formed by first, this is your skin. So starting from your skin, if you reflect your skin, next what you are seeing is the superficial fascia. So this is the superficial fascia. Actually in the superficial fascia you will be having your great saphenous vein. Next you will be having cutaneous nerves, namely your femoral branch of genitofemoral nerve at this site, more medially ilioinguinal nerve. Then you will be having inguinal lymph nodes. They are the superficial inguinal lymph nodes. In addition to that important point, we will be having superficial branches of femoral artery. So that I am going to point out the femoral artery later on. So we will be having superficial branches of femoral artery. They are superficial circumflex iliac, superficial external podental, next your superficial epigastric. Okay, so these are all the your superficial branches of your femoral artery. Next is your all these arteries are accompanied by superficial veins. They are accompanying these arteries and draining into the your great saphenous vein. So another important content present in the roof is the great saphenous vein in the superficial fascia itself. So this is the great saphenous vein. Once again important for your spot test. Later on I will tell while telling about the content. So next to the superficial fascia you will be having deep fascia. So this is the deep fascia of the thigh. It is very tough. It is called as fascia lata. So if you see the roof of your femoral triangle, it is formed by from deep to superficial your fascia lata, that is nothing but deep fascia of the thigh. Next, your superficial fascia and its contents. In this, mainly you are going to tell about the cutaneous nerves, namely femoral branch of genitofemoral nerve, ilioinguinal nerve. Next, the vein is the great saphenous vein. Next, superficial branches of femoral artery and accompanying veins, they are draining into the great saphenous vein. So that is your superficial fascia. Still superficial to that, what we have is our skin. So these are the structures forming your roof of your femoral triangle. Next, if you see the floor is formed by the only muscles. Okay, so starting from medial to lateral, medial muscle that forms the floor is the adductor longus. Already I told, your adductor longus, medial border of adductor longus forms the medial boundary. Next, remaining part of the muscle is present in the floor. Actually, it is having tendinous origin. This muscle is twisted. That's why medial border forms medial boundary. Next, the remaining part forms your floor. So next to your adductor longus, the muscle that forms the floor is the pectineus muscle. So this muscle is the pectineus muscle. So adductor longus, next pectineus, next the tendon of psoas major. So this is the tendon of psoas major muscle. Next muscle that forms the floor is the iliacus. So this iliacus and psoas major fuse to form a common tendon that will be inserted into the femur. So if you see the floor muscles from medial to lateral, adductor longus, next pectineus, next your psoas major tendon, next iliacus. So this is from medial to lateral muscles forming the floor, adductor longus, pectineus, psoas major and iliacus. So these are the muscles that forming the floor. So now you know your base, apex, medial boundary and lateral boundary, your roof and floor. The contents of your femoral triangle. If you see that main content from medial to lateral, so this region is called as femoral region. So the triangle is the femoral triangle. So the vein what you have here is the femoral vein. So this is the femoral vein. Next, femoral artery. Next, femoral nerve. So these are the main contents of your femoral triangle: femoral vein, femoral artery and femoral nerve. So this arrangement from medial to lateral, it is called as vein structures. Vein means V for femoral vein. Next, lateral to that femoral artery. Still lateral to that, what we have is the femoral nerve. So these are the main contents of your femoral triangle. In addition to that, you will be having the nerve, that is your lateral cutaneous nerve of thigh. So already in the previous specimen I told, anterior superior iliac spine. Just below that, you will be having a large cutaneous nerve, that is your lateral cutaneous nerve of thigh. One more nerve, that is your femoral branch of genitofemoral nerve. So these are the main contents of your femoral triangle. Next, in the roof I told, superficial group of inguinal lymph nodes. Here in the content, here you will be having deep inguinal lymph nodes. So these are all the main contents of your femoral triangle. So this is the femoral vein. So important point, already I told, your great saphenous vein that is present in the roof. Next, in the superficial fascia, then you will be having a opening at the site in the fascia lata, that is called as saphenous opening. So it is a defect present in the fascia lata. So this great saphenous vein, after passing through that saphenous opening, it drains into the femoral vein. So it's very nice specimen. So this is the great saphenous vein. So this is the opening of great saphenous vein into the femoral vein. Okay. So this is the site of saphenous opening. It is an oval opening present in the fascia lata. It is covered by a thin fascia called as cribriform fascia. Okay, so now this is the site of saphenous opening. So importance later on I will tell. So your great saphenous vein is passing through that, then it drains into the femoral vein. Clearly you are able to make out. So that is femoral vein. So if you tell the contents, what you have to tell is femoral vein and its tributaries. Okay, so that's what you have to tell in the content. So next, this is the femoral artery. So it is lateral to your femoral vein. So this is the femoral artery. So in the next class we are going to read about in detail about your femoral artery and its branches and all. So now this is your femoral artery. If you lift the femoral artery, one large branch of it and the posterior aspect of your femoral artery is profunda femoris artery. So this is profunda femoris. So identification point, you have to lift your femoral artery. Posterior aspect of femoral artery gives origin to profunda femoris artery. So this branch is the profunda femoris artery. So already you studied about brachial artery, isn't it? So it gives profunda brachii. So like that, this is called as profunda femoris artery. So if you lift the femoral artery from the posterior aspect, we can make out your profunda femoris artery. Actually, this will be dividing into medial and lateral circumflex femoral arteries. That and all you can see later on. Okay, so in the femoral artery class. Okay, so this is profunda femoris, important for your spotters. So this is femoral artery. Easily you can identify. Medial to that we have femoral vein, lateral to that we have femoral artery. So that is your femoral nerve. So in between the two, what we have is the femoral artery. Okay, so this is femoral artery. This is profunda femoris artery getting originated from your femoral artery. So now next content is your femoral nerve. It is a very thick nerve coming from the your lumbar plexus. So this is your femoral artery. Femoral nerve. That is your femoral nerve. This is also important for spotters. Easily you can identify. So femoral nerve also we have separate class, in that you can read in detail. So here if you take the contents once again, femoral vein, femoral artery and your femoral nerve. So this video is mainly for spotters purpose. So important muscles forming the boundaries contents, important for your spotters and discussion only I am telling now. So this is adductor longus, this is your sartorius muscle, so this is your inguinal ligament. So femoral vein, femoral artery and your femoral nerve. So this is your femoral